And now we're going to have you saying, I've got the audio of you saying,
yes.
Restart that in all of... and then now we're going to have the audio of me saying,
this is so
we're going to have the audio...
Wow. Is that an Astra? Is that what made that noise?
An Astra?
Yeah.
No, that one?
Yeah.
No way. It's like
There's
some old lady
around
driving it.
There's nothing else around.
No way. It's one of those...
It would have been one of the Commodores.
It's one of those Commodores.
That would have been pretty funny if it was the Astra though.
Okay.
Okay. Nice. All right. It's the podcast that can't stop, much like GameStop. Welcome to HQLA.
Well done. Did you come up with that?
I did. I had a couple of options, and I think that was our, that was the number one.
I think that was number one, just
So,
like this podcast.
Just like this podcast will be after you watch it and give it a 5-star review. We haven't mentioned...
And comments.
Yeah. We haven't mentioned our socials or our kind of, Twitter handle, anything
That's very
like
true.
that.
Do you have Twitter?
I have Twitter. I recently signed up. So I actually signed up. No, I didn't sign up. I signed up in 2009.
Okay.
Which isn't recent.
No, it's not.
But I refound my
You became
Twitter
active
account.
again?
Yeah, refound it. I had to find my...
so you wasn't even sort of logged in or anything?
I had to search my emails to find my username because I didn't know my username.
Whoa.
And it wouldn't let me reset my password without a username.
Wow.
But then I guessed my password.
And you didn't want to lose all those followers?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I have 16 followers, I would like to say. I've done one tweet, which I think is impressive for 16 followers. I don't know.
I'd have pretty similar number of followers.
Yeah.
But you know what my claim to fame is on Twitter, right?
You have Kevin Rudd. Classic.
Yeah. Okay, so you can jump onto my profile.
Sorry, I don't know what your claim is. What's your claim, Nathan?
No, that's my claim.
Oh, okay, cool. Just checking. I thought it might be someone bigger.
No, what do you mean?
No, I'm
That's
just saying.
impressive.
That's very impressive, no.
You can jump onto my handle at NJNotley, Notley.
You can jump on, and you haven't heard this before, you can jump on to my handle at Sausages Yummy.
It's raining.
It's starting to get a little heavier. This happens every time.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You said it wouldn't rain.
You said this is good under the tree.
We both made a bit of a wrong call.
What are we going to do?
I think we press on. No, I'm just kidding. It's getting pretty bad.
It's so wet.
It's getting pretty bad.
All right, we'll be back.
All right, no worries.
Oh, man.
We're currently set up in our new location.
Yeah.
Which is extremely different from our old location.
Yeah, it's about 3 meters behind where we were before.
Yes. It's starting to rain again. It's not very bad. It's we can
I think we'll push through.
We can keep on going.
Laptop's already wet.
Will I do the intro again? Nah, I won't do the intro again.
I don't think so.
So
okay, so this week some things have been happening.
Yeah, all right. That's let's get straight into them because one of the most interesting things that I saw was GameStop.
Okay.
So this one is GameStop is the topic, and we're looking at one of the most interesting stock increases that I've ever seen. It's gone up from, so here we go. I've got a couple of visuals for you here.
Awesome.
So it's actually gone up.
Should I come look at this?
Yeah. Okay. So this is the 1 month increase. So you can see
wow.
on the 1 month we're at 1,587% up. But if you look at the one, so it's gone in that case from $19 to $325.
Oh wow!
But if you look at the 1 year increase, it's gone up 8,160%. There's some really revving going on in the background.
Yeah. So some context is we are on the foreshore here in Newcastle where we live, and people in their tricked out cars love to come along and just sort of show everybody how loud they are.
They are revving hard.
It's part of the culture, and so we're just embracing it.
Yeah,
sorry,
absolutely.
so you were saying 8,000%?
Yeah, so 8,000%. So
on the yearly graph.
Yeah, so it's gone from $3 and $3.93
when?
Up to, so this is 1 year ago, so 30th of Jan 2020, all the way up to the now price of $325.
Whoa.
Who knows what it'll be when we actually release this one?
Yeah.
Because it's currently that was the 29th of Jan.
Might be
price.
minus $30.
That's the Friday thing. So it's gone up 67% in the last day.
Okay.
But it's had days of over 100% growth for the last week, and so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So it's 4% down after market, but that's not controlled by the retail investor, which is that's what this move is all really about. It's about the retail investor. So Wall Street Bets is the subreddit making it all happen.
Okay.
And,
are you active on here?
I'm very active on
Really?
Wall Street Bets. Yeah.
I'm not.
So yeah, it's a good one. It's there's certainly a lot that goes on, and it's very interesting to look at.
Okay.
So it's got here we go. Here's my first visual from this.
Yeah.
Which
if you can see,
my waterproof laptop will.
Is it waterproof?
No. Is there a waterproof laptop?
Probably.
We've got a tweet from Elon Musk that says GameStonk.
Oh yes.
And then it's a
True.
link. It's a link just to Wall Street Bets.
Dang.
And,
January 27th.
Yeah. So
that was a big day. Was that the peak of GameStop as well?
It could have been. There were a couple
on that graph that you had. Is it gone or is it?
I think there's two.
There's like for the two companies that I've been looking at, 25th and 27th were like the two big peaks.
Yeah, so it had a big peak, but it's pretty much back there. So
okay.
It had a huge drop and then it's back there again.
Okay.
So when I joined it was about 2 years ago, and it had 100,000 users.
Yeah.
At the beginning of 2020, I can remember it crossing over the million mark.
Oh wow!
Right now, it's got 6.5 million degenerates.
Wow.
Most of those in the last 3 days.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, absolutely.
It's pretty crazy, but
interesting.
The tagline is like 4chan found a Bloomberg terminal. Now, there's a couple of like niche little things there.
Okay.
So 4chan was kind of like a prank kind of. They did really stupid stuff on a forum, basically. And a Bloomberg terminal is what a pro-finance bank will use when valuing their assets and
which is
doing
supposed
trading.
to be the opposite of these guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether or not that's reality, we don't know.
Yeah, so it's a combo of those two things. So I've got another little visual here.
Okay.
This one's riddled with the visuals, but here we've got a $600 to $130K play here, which is a $40 call. You can see, and you can see that the percentage there is plus 98,000. But that's just on that move or whatever. So then he would have made a couple of other positions.
So true.
But yeah, so it's pretty insane.
I heard that there was this guy who I think it was in 2019. Do you know this guy? He came famous. He's like. He's got the F word in his tag name.
Yeah. So, this is one that's recently.
Have you heard of this guy?
Yeah.
He like put in 50 grand or something.
Yeah. So
is what I heard.
That's one of the next. That's one of the next ones potentially.
Okay,
I'm not actually sure if it's him, but.
So I heard in 2019, I think it was, this guy put 50 grand in because he saw that GameStop was undervalued and saw potential, and. Now his portfolio is worth 22 mil.
Okay, this one that I'm going to show is pretty impressive.
Okay.
But so basically what Wall Street Bets have had though, they've had like a whole bunch of had a whole bunch of spam accounts which are now trying to hype random other in the past stocks because we've had like BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, stuff like that go up, which were actually like. They were like non-spam ones though. Yeah. And then we've had some spam accounts posting stuff about Nokia, and which is also going up and stuff. So
and maybe a couple that I might mention.
Now there is some real stuff going on. So yeah, there's spam accounts on there, and they've gone private now. Yeah. But on Discord they were banned. Yeah. So that was kind of funny. Yeah. And then here we go. We've got our other gain here. I've got this other screenshot. Okay. This gain, I'll show you it. It's up 20 million on the daily. Oh, and true. A total gain of 33 million. Whoa. And a value in the portfolio of 47.9 million. So that one's pretty impressive. That's some April $12 calls. So yeah, the call options are one way to make some insane money.
Yes.
But yeah, they'll never have to really work again if they don't want to. But they probably won't.
I wonder how long that'll last.
Well, they'll probably hold their positions, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
They'll lose it all. I don't know.
Yeah.
But here we go. My next section is entitled Fundamentals.
Okay.
There aren't many. So
of GameStop?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. What do you got?
So, well, I've only got, I've got their year-over-year earnings was up 64%. So,
okay,
as impressive as that is, it's not 8,000% impressive
No.
in terms of
that's
growth.
interesting that it's up.
Yeah.
I guess they've done well on their e-commerce.
Well, yeah, so they've, I think that they've tried to turn the model around, but
Yeah.
obviously it's not about the business, it's about
Totally.
sending a message,
Yeah.
But they've had a decline in revenue of 34%. So
Yeah, okay.
the sales is going down. Seems like they're getting more scalable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see where that one goes. I don't think the fundamentals are at all an issue here, though. We've got market depth. This one was interesting. This was the most traded stock of the day, a couple of days. So I saw it beat Tesla for
Really?
most traded stock, which
Dang.
was insane.
That's insane.
The next section will be about The Big Short. So here we go. This is Michael Burry, who was in The Big Short.
Mm-hmm.
He has been super active on Twitter in the last week.
Yeah.
So he runs Scion Capital,
Okay.
which is it was his original, and it was in The Big Short,
Mm-hmm.
the fund,
Mm-hmm.
but now he runs it without anyone else's money. It's all entirely him.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So it's just his fund.
Dang.
So, and also played by Christian Bale in The Big Short, and The Big Short is currently the top trending movie on Netflix. When I had a look last night. So
Yeah, wow.
so there we go. So what I did was I used a Bloomberg terminal to go through and have a look at what his hedge fund is holding, and this is more than a week ago, which is now really annoying because I was thinking about copying his portfolio, just because I think that would be because he has zero of, like, we have no overlap at all. So my stocks and his stocks are completely different.
Yeah.
He really, from what I've seen in the past, he seems to go for really value-based investing.
Yeah.
But he definitely outperforms like crazy.
Yeah.
So he's pretty sharp. But he's I noticed last week that he had 11% of his hedge fund in GameStop in the regular shares. So he's just bought the shares. And this is based on a filing in September, and so taking a regular long position in the shares, and yeah. So so one thing that's happened obviously is that they've brought down a few hedge funds, and he sent this tweet out. Here we go. I've got this one. So it says there can't be another that was loud. It says there can't be another GME. Because there's nothing even close to being shorted that much. So it was shorted at over 100% of where the share, like how many shares there were.
Yeah, true.
And it's just such a small thing. So it was like he said it was a perfect storm.
Yeah.
And it just turned out really well. It was just people being too greedy.
Yeah.
And in their hedge funds.
Yeah.
And taking on too much risk. Elon called out for shorting to be illegal.
Yeah.
And that's,
you got a bit of backlash for that though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but. So Tesla has been constantly, bring it back to Tesla again, because that's our theme. Tesla has been constantly shorted all the time.
Yeah. It frustrates him. I can understand that, because from his perspective, like, he's trying to build a valuable business, and all these people are just trying to make money but not adding any value to anything.
Yeah,
and so
definitely.
I could see as someone like him who attributes his whole life to like changing the world, and then there's these people who are just like grabbing money and essentially like making it harder for him, driving his stock price down, and which affects him personally even. And so, yeah, I could definitely understand his frustration.
Yeah, for sure. And he even released those short shorts. We'll put a little picture here. The short shorts, which were against the short shorters.
Lol.
So I don't know if you saw that. He was drop shipping short shorts. They were satin red, literally booty shorts. And
recently?
Yeah, he did it in the last 3 months, or maybe.
I have seen it.
Maybe
I
3
thought you
months
meant
ago.
like this week or something.
No,
I've seen that.
not recent. Yeah,
that's great.
Maybe 6 months ago.
Sold out?
But
just like all their merch.
Just like Tesla Tequila, can't get a bottle.
No.
Reselling crazy,
Yeah.
Anyway, so the two companies that I'm going to pay particular attention to are Citron and Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
Citron, and Melbourne Capital. Citron particularly annoys me because right after I bought calls on Palantir, which I talked about in episode 1, by the way, or immediately after I bought calls on Palantir, they shorted it.
Yeah.
Which drove it down quite a bit, but I've since recovered.
Nice.
But yeah, so
are you still in that position?
Yeah, still in that position.
Okay.
So I was up a massive amount, and I tried. It's going to make you giggle, but I tried to close it out, and it dipped immediately. So my calls were, and I don't know if you understand fully how they work, but they were $12.70 essentially.
Right.
$12.70, and which means that they're times 100, so you can work it out for yourself. But they $1,200 each and $2,500 each, $2,500 in total or whatever. But the issue that happened with them is that they were $12.70, and I pressed sell on $12.70, and then the order didn't go through because it was immediately dipped back down. Like I just wasn't fast enough.
Oh dang!
So it dipped back down and hit, and then it went back to 9:30 or something. So
oh wow,
not a huge issue though because earnings are on the 11th of Feb, and I think they're going to have a big run up until then. Yep. They beat.
I think the news will be good.
Back to Palantir for 1 second. Yeah, so they beat earnings by more than double the expectation last time.
Oh wow!
So earnings per share was.
But is that impressive. A bad thing? Because does that mean that if they don't do that again, the price is going to tank?
Well, the expectation is that they're going to. The expectation is set for them to beat it again, which means that I'll sell before the news.
Yeah. Okay. Smart.
So yeah, because I think even when you sell after the news, your calls are worth less anyway.
Okay.
Because your calls will go down when because there's no volatility, there's no expectation.
Yep.
Because they're based on a number of factors instead of just price.
Yep.
So anyway, on Citron, they posted this, which was quite funny, and it's kind of a win, I think, for kind of the world, because it means that other people won't be as bearish. It's kind of a win and a loss because now you can't use this information. But they posted on their Twitter, Citron Research discontinues short selling research. After 20 years of publishing, they're no longer going to publish short reports, which means that other hedge funds and whatever won't be piggybacking off their shorting.
Yep.
Which is good for company. It's good for the little guy. Like it's good for those GameStops and those people that are actually just trying to sell some video games. Like without being
because everyone doesn't pile in.
From
their ideas.
On the other hand, it means that we are going to struggle to do this again because, well, by we I mean Wall Street Bets is going to struggle to do this again.
Yeah.
With picking up those and like trying to like force out hedge funds.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Interesting.
So they've stopped publishing those.
Yeah, right.
I've got the next one, which is a report. So I've got an article from CNBC here, which has short sellers have lost $19.75 billion so far this year shorting GameStop.
Wow.
Which is pretty insane.
Yeah. Wow.
So they're still holding on, a lot of them, which is crazy. But it's pretty wild. So there's a couple that are holding out. I think Melvin started to really struggle though.
Yeah.
So they had a $2.8 billion bailout after being 30% down.
Yeah, right.
So their billionaire founder or whatever came in and saved it. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm not 100% sure on this. Steve Cohen, potentially.
Okay.
Oh, that might be another billionaire who's just also shorting it, because I know that he's gotten a lot of flack. He's actually deleted his Twitter account now.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, he's obviously taken too much.
Yeah.
Everyone tweeting at him.
True.
So
deleted it.
Yeah, he's deleted. He's worth 14.
That's extreme.
He's worth $14 billion. Okay. And so obviously pumping 2.8 into his hedge fund or whatever was kind of funny that he just would have immediately lost that.
Yeah.
Shorting, and so everyone's just trying to hold out. So a couple of I just want to talk about a couple of the basics for some people that wouldn't know. So short selling is and like everyone's been throwing around the term short squeeze, So it's selling. You sell borrowed shares now to do short selling, and then you buy them back in the future, and you return them to the person that you borrowed them from.
Yep.
So what happens there is you're selling shares now at a high point, but you're selling the borrowed shares, which means you're bearish, and then you're hoping for it to go down so you can buy in the future for a lower price, return those shares, and then the underlying guy just makes some kind of premium
Mhm.
and gets paid some kind of fee or whatever
Yeah.
for lending his shares out.
Yeah.
And then the short squeeze is what happened, which is where the price actually wasn't lower in the future.
Yeah.
And the short squeeze is where, because they're forced to buy it back, they're actually forced to force the price back up. So
And is that because of they're managing funds and there's certain rules? Would there be some sort of like stop loss or something like that where when they're losing enough money they just literally have to close the position?
yeah.
Do you think that's a situation?
Short. I'm not 100% sure because I know that
Because otherwise you could just hold.
there's margin calls. Well, there's margin calls on options, but I'm not
Mhm.
100% sure if there's margin calls on short positions.
Okay.
I'd say there would be,
Mhm.
just to keep. Yeah, you'd have to keep paying margin, but yeah, I don't 100% know how
Okay.
margins with short selling works.
Mhm.
But yeah, so obviously they have to buy it back in the future, which forces the price up even more. So on Friday, yesterday, the price went up 67% just because
that's right.
the price was so high and all these guys have to buy it back.
Yeah.
And so even though everyone was restricted from buying it, the hedge funds had to had to buy or
Yeah.
whatever. And so so yeah, here we go. So my next segment is about Robinhood.
Mhm.
And this one's very interesting. So its entire business model, I'm not 100% sure if you know how it works, but they sell data to hedge funds. So that's kind of how
I have
make
heard of this.
how they make the money.
Yeah.
So they actually at a certain point they started to limit everyone to 2 stocks per day that you could buy. So
Really?
so yeah, so I'll just pause for 1 sec. There we go. Yeah, so they limited 2 stocks per day.
Yeah.
Then they limited it to 1 stock per day,
Yeah.
and then they limited it to selling only. So this is 3 of the days last week.
Recently?
Yeah, this is 3 of the days last week.
Are you sure?
Yeah, so they limited it to...
I watched an interview today and the guy said that they only took off like 13 tickers from their website. They didn't stop anyone buying the other 5,000 stocks or
Okay,
something.
well anyway, here's this graph which shows where the 2 institutions 2 share limit
Uh-huh.
where it started to decline.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got Robinhood instituting a 1 share limit,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's declining more. And then at a certain point after this, they did no shares at all.
Yeah, right.
And then here's something even more fascinating. I've got another one here, which said, so here's a message to a shareholder,
Oh, yeah.
and it says that in light of your restricting transactions, all that kind of thing, we've decided to close out your position in GME for
Yeah.
you. So they've automatically
That's
sold
right.
for all the people that have Robinhood accounts.
Dang.
And over 50% of Robinhood users have had a GameStop position.
Whoa.
So it's pretty wild.
That's
So,
crazy.
Yeah, so they had a 27% decline on the day that they stopped allowing people to buy.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Robinhood needed this week, and this is another interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
They needed $1 billion to cover all their margin lending positions. So they funded that with one loan from one bank of 500 mil, and then another loan of 600 mil. So
Yeah, wow.
pretty wild.
That's wild.
And yeah, obviously automatically selling positions. This is one thing you might not know who AOC is, but she's a super left wing politician.
Okay.
And we've also got Trump, and AOC and Trump have completely agreed on something, which is super interesting. It's that it was a super corrupt move to just automatically sell people's positions.
Yeah.
And they're both against the hedge funds taking the power from the people. So I thought that was actually pretty cool.
That is interesting.
They both had the same position there.
Nice.
And yeah, so here's maybe the section that might be the most interesting to some people, the boomer view. I chatted to a few finance professionals about this one.
Yeah.
The oldies. They said the Americans have gamified trading too much.
Yeah.
And it's too free and it's too easy.
Yeah.
And of course everyone's going to spend their money on that,
Yeah.
because they're all silly. And then my last and final point
Mm-hmm.
is the meme review. Here we go. We've got Big Bird sitting in the at the conference table. It says GameStop sitting amongst Tesla and Amazon after Reddit made it a Fortune 500 company. Classic. Big Bird sitting at a conference table. Classic.
That's great.
And that wraps up.
Oh,
GameStop.
perfect. Just one meme.
Yeah, I only had one meme. I was planning to do more.
No, one's perfect. I mean, it was a good quality meme.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're back. All right, so there's a couple of other alternate stocks that have had some interesting performance in the last week. And one that you mentioned to me is Express Incorporated.
Express.
Yeah. I hadn't heard of it before. Had you heard of it before?
I haven't heard of it. I still haven't heard of it. I don't remember mentioning it to you.
Okay, well, we did talk about this
Okay, all right.
in the lead up to planning this. Anyway.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so I'll tell you about them, okay?
All right.
So they're a fashion apparel brand in the US. They launched in 1980.
Yes, okay.
Been around for a while. They were formerly known as Express Parent LLC, which is not a really catchy name. So Express Incorporated is definitely a little more catchy. Don't mind the noise, guys.
Yeah,
We've mentioned what that is.
Don't worry about that.
Some cars. We like cars, so we're down here. And so the headquarters is in Ohio. And they've got a design studio in New York City. They got 592 retail outlets in the US and Puerto Rico, which is random.
Puerto Rico is part of the US, though, so that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. In North America and Latin America.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if it's in Latin America, but yeah.
Is it not?
Oh, I don't know. Someone comment below.
Okay. I feel like it might be. I've never been to Latin
all right.
America, though,
All
so
right.
I can't comment.
That's all right.
And they've also got an online presence. Well, they certainly do now. Sorry. Tim Baxter's the CEO, and he's only been the CEO since June 2019. And he was previously the chief merchandising officer at Macy's. Have you heard of Macy's?
I have heard of Macy's.
Yeah, so it's like a David Jones in the US.
Yeah.
So they currently have 9,200 employees. And since 2014, they've lost 10,000 employees.
Wait, you said they have 9,000 Oh, okay, right. They
Okay.
didn't have. So
No,
they would have had 19,000.
so they did have
Yeah,
19,000.
I can do maths.
Yeah. Which is pretty insane. So that's giving you a bit of a picture of what their growth has been like, or the lack of.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a thing that's in department stores, isn't it?
Yeah.
E-commerce switch.
Okay, so they currently have 200% debt to equity ratio. So, for example, in Q3, so it's interesting because for their Q3 announcement for 2020, they didn't announce it until the 3rd of December. So I listened to the Motley Fool a few episodes ago, and one of the things that they mentioned was, I don't know how true it is, but they've found that some of the best performing companies come out with their earnings really quick, and a lot of the terrible companies with really bad earnings just come out with them like months after.
Yeah. Well, 2 months is still not too bad. But
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, very true.
Do you reckon it's true? I don't know.
Well,
That's
I
what
don't
they
know.
said. I don't know if it's.
I mean, I haven't thought about it too much.
Okay.
I've also listened to a Motley Fool, which wasn't the American one.
Oh yeah.
And they've said, don't really worry about when they come out.
Oh really?
Because they're all just scheduled at certain points.
True.
And they kind of want to build their news around, not around each other, but like separate out their news sometimes. So, I don't know, it can be either thing. I'm not an expert though. So
No, of course.
Don't talk to me.
Okay, so the net sales are down 30%, and they ended the quarter with 100 mil in cash in the bank. They reduced the workforce just in that quarter by 10%, which will reduce the 2021 expenses by 13 mil.
Okay, all right.
Which is good,
Yeah,
I suppose.
yeah.
Digital transactions up 17% year on year.
Not bad.
Their gross margin on their products as an average is 4.3% compared to 28% same time last year.
Okay, all right. So not ideal, but you got to think about how it's a department store, and
Correct.
the US is very locked down.
It is.
So,
Okay, so they've made a net loss for that quarter of 90 mil
yeah, okay.
compared to 3 mil in the same quarter last year.
All right.
That's a pretty significant difference. And year to date, net loss of 350 mil. Same time last year, 22 mil,
Yeah, okay.
which is pretty substantial. So they IPO'd in May 2010, and when they IPO'd, at the end of that day, they're at $16 a share. All-time high was 26, all-time low 60 cents.
Whoa.
Which was in October 2020.
Yeah.
And then January 25th, up 300% to $4.
Yep.
January 27th,
Here we go.
up 1,000% to
1,000%.
$13.
Yeah.
Which is really nothing compared to GameStop.
Yeah.
But it's still interesting.
That's very impressive.
Currently down at $6. Okay,
$6.
so $13.
So it hit $13, yeah.
$13, and then what was that? 3 days ago, and then we're now at $6.
Yep.
They don't give out a dividend, and they've got 1.8 individual insider ownership.
Okay, that's pretty low.
1.8%, pretty low.
Yeah.
So, BlackRock, Vanguard, Bridgeway, JP Morgan, they're all significant shareholders in the company.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. And there's a company called Divisa Capital Management, and they actually own 8.6%, which is 3.5% of their portfolio, which seems kind of significant to me.
Yeah.
Their portfolio mustn't be huge. But anyway, second company, and this one is particularly interesting,
Here we go.
is AMC.
Ah, yes, incredible.
Okay? So
Incredible.
AMC Entertainment Holdings, I believe, is the full name.
Yes.
And they basically just do movie cinemas. So that's nice and simple. They operate 1,000 theatres, so 1,000 individual theatres. Within those theatres, there's 11,000 screens.
So, can you recall the last time that you went to the movies yourself?
Yes. It was to see that Korean film.
Oh, yeah, with the guy that lives in the basement?
Yes.
And he comes out and
It was that.
late at night.
So that would have been at the start of 2020.
That won an Oscar, you know?
Oh, it was a great film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only I could remember the name.
The funny thing about that film, and it's the same with a lot of good films just with subtitles that aren't in sort of like English, which is the only language I can speak.
Yes.
Is that after a while you start to put a voice to the characters, and you kind of forget you're reading. It's very interesting.
True. Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
That's something that I can relate with.
Yeah.
And I'm actually looking up what
Are you
it
gonna
is
look it
because
up?
I'm so Parasite. That's it. Parasite.
Hectic movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Okay, so AMC, they were founded in 1920. So it's
One of the classics.
Super old company.
Yeah.
I guess as of last year, 100-year-old company, which is pretty cool. Headquarters are in Kansas, and they're a subsidiary of a Chinese developer who also owns Hoyts for all of us here in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay. So talking about their performance, let's see here. In April, they issued $500 million worth of 10% first lien notes, which were due in 2025 to just try and get more capital. And then in July, they did the same, $300 million worth of 10.5% first lien notes. And in August, they sold a Baltic region. So Baltic region is apparently in Europe, and there's a sea called the Baltic Sea.
Yeah.
And there's a few countries like Latvia and Lithuania and stuff like that who border that sea.
So did you say they sold them at a rate of 10.5%?
Yeah.
Incredible. So they're selling bonds at 10.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so no one believes in them.
Yeah.
Junk bonds.
Yeah.
Do you have any clue? You probably won't. Any clue on the credit rating?
No.
I'm gonna say right here that it's got to be lower than. It's got to be single B.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
right.
say single B or even down to the C's.
Hectic. Okay, so they've sold that, raised a total of 800 mil, and they sold the Baltic region of their theatres, which was 77 mil, when they sold all of those theatres in that area, those countries.
Yep.
And they issued 30 mil worth of new stock, which raised another almost 100 mil. So they're just raising money. It's 900, almost a bill.
Yeah.
And as of Q3, their revenue, this is just crazy. Their revenue was down
Yeah.
$1.2 billion, which is down 90%.
Yeah.
To 120 million.
Yep. That's yes. That's
which is crazy. Like considering that same time last year, so this is year on year, same time last year, it was 1.3 blah 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 billion. This year, 120 million. Crazy. Net loss of 900 million compared to 54 million year on year. $850 million difference. The US theatre attendance was down 97%.
97, yeah. It makes sense too, because I think that they were primarily closed in some areas. I actually have an interesting one about that. I saw a guy that made his own film, and then he went and opened special viewings for the film.
Oh, yeah.
And then he bought all of the tickets at all of the different venues, which meant that he got on the box office list for the highest grossing film of the week, which meant that he was eligible to run for certain awards. So it was pretty smart. So he spent, I don't know what he spent, I think he spent $30,000 on tickets.
Yeah.
Which is pretty smart to get
True.
to get your own
That's
review.
a great story.
And then it doesn't have to, it could be the awfulest film, but it will be shown at a festival.
Could be nothing.
Might be shown at South by Southwest, might be shown at the Oscars.
True.
You know, who knows?
Dang. That's interesting. So they IPO'd in 2013. And so they finished the day on their IPO at $20. All-time high of $36, which is 2015, 2 years later. All-time low of $2, again, just the first week of January.
Yeah.
All-time low, $2, or thereabouts. Then, a little different to Express, you could see just a slight change about midway through January as the trajectory just turned very slightly.
Yeah.
It sort of dipped under $2, and then it just slowly started to climb, just so incrementally.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't think anything of it unless you're looking back in hindsight. And then on the 27th of January, it was up 700%.
Yeah, yeah.
Which was just under $20.
So wild. Yeah.
Which is pretty wild. So it's currently still sitting at about $13.
Yeah.
And
now, is that a buy from you, Nathan?
It's not.
Okay. But after all these great facts, like 97% less
okay,
people.
so this is an interesting one. So you've talked a little bit about companies who have been squeezed out of positions and they've lost, what did you say, $1 billion or $2 billion?
The shorters have lost $19 billion.
No, sorry. What was that individual company that the guy
the individual one lost 2.8.
2.8. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, and so I'm not going to be able to live up to that. But this is an interesting story. So Mudrick Capital, which I had not heard of before.
No. Yeah.
In December 2020, so I don't know, a month ago, right? They sold, as it was sort of coming down to its bottom, basically, of the dip.
Bottom.
They sold 9.3 million shares at, and I'd calculate it because they did it in multiple batches, but it was at about an average price of $2.90.
Okay.
So just remembering, all-time low was $2, and the other week it got up to $20, right?
Yeah.
So almost all-time low, they sold them at $2.90, which gained them 27 mil.
Okay, yeah.
In cash or whatever, right? That's what they walked away with.
Yeah.
If they had have sold it at the current price of $13, not $20, it'd be 123 mil.
Yeah.
So they literally chucked away 100 mil.
Gains left on the table. Gains left on the table.
So I don't know who called that trade.
Yeah.
But they'd feel a little silly.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Maybe not.
No, I think you would. You're definitely right. Yeah.
And I mean, Vanguard, BlackRock also have a fairly notable share in the company still. And so I feel like every company I look up, Vanguard have a share in.
At the same time, when you're trading on behalf of a company, you have different feelings towards making your own money.
No, it's more just looking silly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's all I would have thought.
Yeah. I
don't know.
No, you're probably right. Yeah.
Okay, do you have any other thoughts? I have one other thought, but...
Well, I was thinking about commissions, because that's what I would have been sad about. Like, you're missing out on an extra... If you make 10% of your trades,
but
if 10% of your profits of your trades...
They wouldn't have made a profit, though, because it's almost all-time low, right?
Yeah, true. So, yeah, but I'm saying that you're missing out on that.
Yes.
You're missing out on
personally,
that profit.
Yeah, I understand.
You're missing out on that sick personal gain.
Correct. So, yeah. Any other topics? I have a topic.
I don't have any other topics.
Okay, so...
Unless you want to talk about Dogecoin, am I right?
No, I don't.
Wait, are we talking separate topic or?
I was going to mention
another
Neo
company?
once more.
Yeah.
Can I mention Neo?
Let's go.
Okay, so was it on our first podcast that we talked about Neo?
I believe it was the first one.
Okay, I think I brought them up. I brought them up as a company,
Yes.
but I'm going to talk about their car. So they've got, they came out basically a week after we recorded the episode.
Yeah.
They came out and did, what do they call it? Neo Day? They call it something. It's like Battery Day, but for Neo.
Yeah.
And they announced their first ever sedan, which is called the ET7.
Yep. It's keeping with the theme.
Keeping
what
with
was
the
their
theme,
other ones called?
ES8,
Yeah.
EC8,
ES9
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, it's all along those lines. Electric Transport 7,
Yeah.
maybe.
Brilliant. They're real thinkers.
Okay, so it's available first quarter of 2022. So about a year from now
Okay.
is when it comes out. It's never going to... Well, it's definitely not going to come to Australia for some time.
Yes.
I'm not going to say never, because it's actually such a sick car. You wait till I talk about this. You'll be investing in Neo in no time.
Oh yeah, I already am.
Or you'll be piling it in.
I'll be piling it
All
in.
those gains from Palantir, you'll be piling it in.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, eh?
So there's like 3 battery options in this vehicle. So it's 70 kilowatt hours, 100 and 150. 150 is the flagship one where they're hypothetically, I think they've tested it, but we haven't seen it on the consumer on the roads yet. They broke the 1,000 kilometer distance in a single battery.
Yeah,
cycle.
okay. All right. That's one of the main issues, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So it's 90k Australian, 105k for the 100 kilowatt hours, and we're not sure of the price of the 150 kilowatt hour, which is the flagship one. So it's not going to reach Australia for the minute. But a few interesting facts. So when you go onto the website, which you guys can do, maybe we'll see it on the YouTube video here. Almost one of the first things you see is
get our editor to jump on that.
Yeah, Larry, if you could do that, it'd be great.
No worries.
Oh,
I mean, no, it's not me. It's not me. It's definitely our editor, Larry. Yep.
And so one of the things they mentioned specifically is like the size of the vehicle is the largest in its class, and I was like, that's definitely directed straight at the Model S. So I went and looked at the specifics of the Model S and have kind of judged a few things between them. So
they're attacking it in terms of size. Is that what you're saying? As in, you want
physical size of the car.
Okay, because that's not something that I look for personally.
I guess that's where they thought they could really have an advantage.
Maybe that is a selling point. I don't actually know.
Well, I'd say that's one of that and the massage seats, which I'll get to, are the 2 main selling points.
Yep. Sorry, I've spoiled it with the massage seats thing. I hadn't heard about that one yet.
Okay, so it's 13 centimeters longer. The Model S. Oh, I know you're getting keen. It's 2 centimeters wider. And it's 10 centimeter wider track than the Model S. I know. Get your money out now.
I know.
It has the swoosh style lights that go front and back. So we talked about it on the RSQ8, where the lights on all the Range Rovers, they kind of like swoosh.
Are we talking like blinkers?
Yeah, blinkers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's got the swooshy lights, which we like. And it's also got the full rear tail light across the whole rear of the car, which is a bit of a Porsche thing, but it looks great. One new thing which I haven't seen is it has soft close doors, which is like something.
That's nice.
It's like something from a Rolls Royce.
That's nice.
So you've got a key, you press the button, and the door pops open, and the handle pops out of the car.
Yeah.
It doesn't always sit out.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of grab it, open it, and then you shut it. I don't know what happens. I assume it slows down, and then it automatically closes. And then if you want to get out, you press a button on the door, and it pops open again, and then you hop out.
The thing that appeals to me about that is that I have a car with the exact opposite of soft closed doors. It's not even medium closed doors. It's very hard closed doors.
Okay, so you've got an older BMW, right?
Yeah, 2003.
And I'm always getting in trouble because I open the door too fast.
Yeah, well, all right, so no, that's a different one, though. That's not about the hard closing doors. That's
I'm just saying.
That
would also be mitigated if it automatically popped open.
Yes. Well, all right. So the key issue there is
gets real touchy about this stuff.
The key issue there, and I'm very sensitive, is that the the window is supposed to dip down fast as you open the door. The car's getting a little old, and the window dips down about 10 seconds after you pull the handle.
I'll tell you what would be smart.
What would be smart?
If the window didn't need to dip down.
No, because it's actually good. The reason it dips is to keep wind noise out, because it dips.
It's got such a good
above.
seal. Because it like seals up in there.
Yeah,
is that
it
what you're
seals
saying?
up. Yeah. So, and then the idea of that is that you don't need door frames as you.
Okay, I got an idea.
Okay.
Door frames.
No, but you don't. Door frames suck. You don't want door frames.
Well, you do, because then you can open the door whenever you want, as fast as you want.
What is it, a Mazda 6?
Don't have any problem with that.
Yeah. Nothing specific. Anyway, press on.
Okay. I have to cut that out. Bit of rambling. Okay. So
No cutting, Larry.
much of the cabin materials comes from tropical rainforests, which represents the beauty of nature.
Wow.
So they say on their website, again, I got a lot of this information from their website and from like the product announcement sort of spiel that old mate who is the CEO, Lee or whatever his name is, he spoke about a lot of things. So they said there's 14 different materials or textures in the car, and they're all from they're all from tropical rainforests left in a fairly natural state to feel the textures and to represent the beauty of nature.
Incredible.
Now, we've talked about air vents. I can't remember what car. I think it was on the SQ8 as well. We talked about the whole air vent thing that went across the whole dash.
Yeah.
Which some of it was fake. Well, this car has invisible air vents.
Yes.
And so I guess it's just air slips out of different little slots in the car. And it said it's got smart technology, so it sort of sends it wherever it's a bit hot. It kind of sends a bit of cold air and stuff like that.
Smart technology.
And it also has smart fragrance and air quality control. So I guess it has a little fragrance device that keeps the car smelling nice, keeps the air quality at a reasonable... Wow, the sun's just come out.
I think that they need, in my opinion, a better marketing team, because smart air and smart fragrance, I don't know. Is that...
Smart air vents.
Is that what they're called?
I think it is called Invisible
Okay.
Smart Air Vents.
Because I feel
we can
like
check that on the website, and if it's not, my bad, but I believe it is.
No, we can correct it. But I think if they had their own unique name around it, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that. You're going to be blown away by this next one. So there's 64 different ambient colours that you can use in the interior of the car. So they call it waterfall lighting. So basically they put this, imagine like this LED strip lighting under the front of the dash, under the door, stuff like that, kind of at shoulder level when you're in the car, and it kind of falls down over the surfaces in 64 different colours of your choice.
That sounds expensive.
Well, yeah, it
sounds expensive for Neo.
Well, yes and no. They've got cheap technology over there.
True, actually, yeah. And it's only LEDs, isn't it?
It's only LEDs.
I mean, you can pretty much buy $2 strips and just glue them in.
Exactly. So heated and massage seats, as I said, comes as standard in the front and the back. Comes as standard, every model.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know, right? All glass roof, as we expect nowadays. And it blocks 99.9% of the UV, but it's fairly clear from what I can tell. I assume it has some sort of setting to be able to kind of dim it so that you're not getting sunburnt.
Well, when I talked about the Porsche the other day,
yeah,
the Taycan. How do you pronounce it?
Taycan.
When I've talked about the Taycan, I thought that a panoramic sunroof was a very cool feature and was quite rare, but it turns out
every car has it.
Turns out it's more popular than I thought. I haven't kept up with the trends enough, obviously.
Okay, so last time we talked about Nomi. Do you remember Nomi?
Nomi, the AI bot on the... Yeah.
Okay. So Nomi now has VPR, which is voice print recognition.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
So it recognizes your voice and knows who's driving. And, okay, this is all assumptions from here on. My assumptions are it knows who gets in the car. It knows your settings. It knows what temperature you like the car. It knows what massage setting you want. That's my assumption of where they go with it. But we haven't seen it in reality yet. And that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You kind of say like, hey, Nomi, in Mandarin.
Say it right now, in Mandarin.
Ni hao, Nomi.
Yeah, I mean, yep.
Thanks. Okay. All right, so they're calling the cockpit. They call it the cockpit, right?
Yeah. That's like a fighter jet. Yeah.
It's like a fighter jet
That's cool.
cockpit. It's the second generation digital cockpit. So
You gotta stop emphasizing cock as you say cockpit.
what?
Nothing. Don't worry. Keep going.
So it's got a 12:8 AMOLED center display. So it appears what's happened here is the display companies are just adding letters to their new display models. So we used to have LED, right?
Yeah.
Then we had OLED.
Yeah.
Now we've got AMOLED.
So yeah, what I was gonna say is that they've Googled LED, and then it's come up with OLED, and then someone's alarm clock has come up, and like the translation hasn't been quite right, and it's like AMOLED. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, it's a new type of screen. It's in like the new Samsung Galaxies and stuff like that.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah, it's got like another thin film transistor or something like that over the capacitors. I don't know. So it's got one of those. It's got like 12.8 in the center. It's got a 10.2 inch for your display for all your cluster and stuff like that, which is not that unusual. Now Neo has partnered, or Neo USA has partnered with Qualcomm, and they've announced a working relationship. You can read this on Qualcomm's website. And so Qualcomm have a product called Snapdragon. They've got Snapdragon Automotive Cockpit Platform. And so that is the brains behind the cockpit technology. And the main one, which is kind of cool, is they've got Snapdragon Automotive 5G Platform.
Wow.
Which has integrated all of their cars with the 5G chip, which is the first automotive-grade chip in any car.
That's really cool, but my main issue is it an ongoing expense? And should we say that again in a minute?
No, it's fine. That was just a sign.
Yeah, all right, nothing to worry about.
Is it an ongoing expense for who?
Yeah, so you know how you pay your phone plan. You pay
for the person who owns the car?
Yeah, you pay $40 a month. Are you going to pay a network to continue
your
service?
It's already a given, right? Teslas are already on a network, right? Or they just upload when they're in Wi-Fi?
I thought that they uploaded when they were in Wi-Fi, but no, I might be completely wrong.
I could be wrong too.
I mean, it makes sense.
We need to clarify that.
It makes sense that they would be on a network.
I think they're all going to be on a network.
Yeah.
If they're not now, I feel like that is the future.
But is that Tesla that owns the network? Like, do
no
they have
way.
their own? Like,
no,
but are they? What I'm saying is, like, are they piggybacking, like, say, like an Aldi does Aldi Mobile?
Yeah, so they're piggybacking off
Telstra?
AT&T or something.
Yeah, but
Surely.
with the piggybacking, are Tesla covering the expense? Or are they on passing that on to the customer on a monthly basis?
No, there's no subscription charge owning a Tesla, is there?
No, I wouldn't think so.
So I think it's an operational cost for Tesla.
Yeah.
We're just making this up now.
But that would make sense.
But that's what would make sense to me. So there's 23 speakers in the car. 23.
That's a significant amount.
Yeah.
I don't know is that more or less than a Rolls Royce. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure. You should Google it.
Well, I know that the Rolls-Royce has 4 in the chassis, but you can't even...
True.
Like, those are just to dampen sound.
That's correct.
Yeah, anyway.
It's got 1,000 watts of power from the speakers.
Wow.
Yeah, just from the speakers.
Yeah.
It's got an aluminium body, dual motor all-wheel drive, 450 kilowatts, 850 newton meters of torque. 850 is a lot of torque.
850?
Yeah.
That's more than a V6 Range Rover.
Yes.
Which... You can tow a boat with that sedan.
Yeah. 300 kilowatts are at the rear, 150 to 180 are at the front.
Yep.
It's got Brembo 4-piston brakes. It has an ultra-low drag coefficient, so the design of it, when you see it's quite sleek, and it passes through the air well, which is good for its efficiency when it's driving, and it's long range.
Something that Tesla also brags about. So that's, I mean,
they do?
On the coefficient.
Gotcha. I'm not sure what the coefficient of the Model S is.
That's definitely going to have to be surely that's going to have to be redo that sentence.
I'm not sure what the coefficient of the Model S is, but they're really advertising this. So the what's it called? The ET7, is it? The ET7 has a drag coefficient of 0.23. So I'm going to assume that's better than a Model S.
Oh, we're always forgetting to clap too.
So yeah, that's true. We do forget to clap. It as I said, it's got a 1,000 kilometer range, and 0 to 100 which is like the big claim to fame for Tesla.
Oh,
Tesla's
can
do
I-
it in 2.4, right?
Yeah.
And the Plaid, I call it the Plaid, but I've heard an American call it a Plaid.
Plaid. Yeah.
I don't like the word Plaid though.
Yeah.
Plaid sounds cooler.
Plaid is always how it's. I feel like that's how it's always been said here. But
I think
Americans are notorious for pronouncing things wrong. So.
That's true, but Americans made it, so it could be Plaid. But
Yeah.
anyway, so the Plaid does 2.1. The Model S 100, P100D does 2.4.
Now, did Elon just with Tesla? I feel like they only just actually delivered the first Plaid Tesla this week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's really exciting. If you go to their website, it's just everywhere at the minute. It's a sick car. I love that car so much. Honestly, I really love it. So you want to guess what the Neo does it in?
I was going to go with something like 3.1, but I feel like even then it might be too slow. I don't know, but it's not a performance. It's like, what is this random Chinese company? How are they performing almost as good as
Well, we don't
actual
know if they
cars?
are because you haven't guessed it yet.
All right, I said 3.1.
3.9.
3.9, okay.
It's-
So I was...
It's not bad. So, if we judge that against, I don't know, what did we talk about last week? The Supra,
Yep.
4.3.
Yeah. Classic combustion engine.
So, clearly, maybe they're doing pretty well, I suppose.
Yep.
What does the... here we go. Oh, this is interesting. Audi RSQ8 does it in 3.8 seconds.
Wow.
Wow, that
In the
really
4B.
puts this in perspective.
Yeah.
And it does it in 3.9.
Yep.
Geez, that RSQ8's good.
Mm.
Man.
It's
Okay.
big forward drive, big bulky thing.
It's crazy. Okay, so the final point is what everyone wants to know about, which is the autonomous driving element of it. So up until this point, Neo Pilot just had it was called Neo Assisted Driving.
Yeah.
And it kind of helped you change lanes and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's good. But now they've released Neo. Now, I haven't been able to find someone pronounce this, so I don't know how to say it. But it's Neo Aquila.
Aquila, okay.
And it's their Neo Super Sensing autonomous driving technology. And it allegedly, and Chinese companies are not known to embellish anything, so this is probably true. It allegedly has 7 times the processing power of the current Tesla Model S. Did you catch that?
Yeah, you definitely was paying attention.
7 times the processing power of the current Tesla Model S.
That's Elon's going to be sad about that one, surely.
But that might not be true.
Okay.
So it has an 8 megapixel camera, which is the main camera display. We talked about this either when we did Neo. We talked about this when we did Neo.
Yeah.
So it's camera technology.
I'm also
right?
going to be talking about a company which does this kind of thing. But yes, anyway. Yeah.
Really? Now?
Yeah. No, not now.
Oh, okay.
No,
At some point.
At some point.
Okay.
Yeah. Just get excited.
So it's
Get excited for the future.
It's got an 8 megapixel camera compared to Teslas, which have a 1.2 megapixel camera.
So when you said 8, I wasn't impressed. When you said 1.2, I'm really not impressed. What are you talking about? 1.2 megapixels?
Have you seen the cameras that the Teslas drive around in?
Is that a joke?
It's pretty bad.
That's really bad, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen. Oh, yeah, true. I have seen those cameras.
seen them?
Yeah, I guess they've got to process all that data though,
Yeah.
really fast.
Yeah.
So I guess, and it's only what's using that camera? Literally a computer.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be high quality, I guess. Yeah.
So it can detect vehicles just under 700 meters away. It can detect traffic cones just over 250 meters away.
Yeah.
And it detects pedestrians just over 200 meters away. It also
That's pretty good.
uses ultra-wide LiDAR
Yeah.
in addition, which the LiDAR is just used for dark situations where the camera can't really see what's going on. And so it's got 33 LiDAR sensors on it as well.
Yeah.
Which is equivalent. It's equivalent to 300 laser beams coming out of the car, constantly analyzing things in more closer proximity to it.
Yeah.
It's got some ultrasonic sensors as well. So between the 3 of those technologies, that's basically how Neo Aquila has its Neo Super Sensing autonomous driving technology.
Yeah.
And so I'm impressed. I would have that car.
Yeah.
So we'll just see if it ever comes out. I'd love to see it.
It does seem pretty cool. So.
Yeah. So Neo, from what I can tell, Neo are just putting the pieces together. So they've got the Communist Party building the cars.
Yeah, true.
They're providing the labour.
Yeah.
It is what it is. They've got, Qualcomm providing the tech and the chips, some NVIDIA processing power.
Yeah.
And then their driverless technology. And I don't know, they don't necessarily design any of it, but they design the look of the car, put it all together.
Tell you what surprised me.
They're all reputable brands.
Surprised me the other day is NVIDIA is one of the largest companies in the world.
Really?
Which is, yeah.
And as a normal person, you probably wouldn't really hear of it.
Yeah. Well, it's very, because it's all I knew about it was that it's a graphics card company. So making special gaming PCs and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no idea how massive it was. I can put the specific market cap just right here,
Oh,
just
perfect.
as a nice little thing.
So yeah, that's that. Anything else from you?
I think we're good. I had a dinner at 7, but it's it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Content comes first.
Surely that was never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't intending to be there early, so it's fashionably late.
Okay, I've got like one quote to finish off.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah.
To finish this off with.
Let's make it go as long as possible.
So the quote is, and it's just something I read in a book this week, and I feel like it wraps this up well. And it says, "Pride gets no pleasure out of having something, only out of having more of it than the next man."
Keep buying stocks, eh?
Have a think about that.
Yep, I myself had a good one, and I can't call it up fast enough.
That's a C.S. Lewis quote.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I like him.
he's a smart guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. I've got a good one.
Okay.
It's by Dr. Parikh Patel, BA, CFA, ACCA. It says, as Ben Graham once said, Ben Graham is the inspiration for Warren. Yep, never mind. For Warren Buffett. When billionaire investors are YOLOing on call options for meme stocks, you should invest all your money in the stock market.
Yeah, right.
That's a direct quote.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
And the lights are dead, and we're done.
And that's a wrap.
What's the catchphrase?
As we always say, it's the podcast that can't stop, much like GameStop.
That's
Goodbye
us.
from HQLA.
Thank you.
Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and
Jay Notley at Twitter.
and Apple Podcasts and
Not on
Spotify.
Twitter.
This is Sausages Yummy at Sausages Yummy.
It's NJ Notley signing off.
That's a long enough sign off.